So the Queen sets foot upon Victorian soil for the first time. Her Majesty is greeted by His Excellency the Governor, General Sir Dallas Brooks, and then by the Premier, the Honourable John Kane. The Progress passes over the Yarra River across Prince's Bridge. Along that beautiful and stately thoroughfare, St Kilda Road, Parliament House in its superb garden setting. So the royal visitors reach what will become their home during their stay with us in Victoria.
Mr. President and honourable members of the Legislative Council, Mr. Speaker and members of the Legislative Assembly. It is but seldom that the Sovereign is able to open Parliament outside the United Kingdom, and I welcome the opportunity to exercise this historic privilege in Victoria. When I first opened Parliament at Westminster, late in 1952, I said that I looked forward with deep pleasure to fulfilling my long-cherished hopes for visiting with my husband my peoples in Australia, New Zealand and Ceylon. Those hopes are now being fulfilled.
The royal visitors next attend an assembly of ex-servicemen's and women's organisations, junior legatees and war widows at Melbourne Cricket Ground. Using a special Royal Australian Air Force Dakota, the royal visitors fly to Mount Gambier in South Australia, and on their return flight visit Hamilton in the Western District, where the Queen addresses the people. Her Majesty's words are broadcast throughout the country. The little girl presenting a bouquet of tiger lilies is a junior legatee. On Sunday morning, the royal visitors attend divine service at the Cathedral Church of St Paul and take their leave of His Grace the Lord Archbishop of Melbourne prior to driving to the Shrine of Remembrance, where the Queen will dedicate additions to the War Memorial.
We are gathered here today to pay homage to the men and women of Victoria who gave their lives in the Second World War, and to commemorate the magnificent services rendered by all those who went forth from their homes to fight for us.
For the Queen, one of the most exciting events of the visit to Victoria is the royal visit meeting of the Victoria Racing Club at Flemington. The Queen, watched by thousands of racegoers, presents the Gold Cup to Mr Wood, part owner of Cromis, and congratulates jockey Purtell on his performance. Government House is the setting for this brilliant scene, a garden party where the Queen and the Duke will meet many Victorian citizens. At Melbourne Cricket Ground, the proposed site for the 1956 Olympic Games, children from Victorian state schools carry out a remarkable mass display.
Here she is, a beautiful sight with an escort of hundreds of yachts and powerboats. The first salutes of welcome are heard as the Britannia enters the River Yarra. As the barge and escorting craft move upriver, thousands of people lining both banks catch their first glimpse of the royal couple. Her Majesty and His Royal Highness are received by His Excellency the Governor and Lady Brooks, and by the Honourable the Premier and Mrs. Bolte. Accompanied by the naval officer in charge, Commodore Rhodes, Her Majesty walks towards the dais. Visit of this tour is to Flemington racecourse, where Her Majesty and His Royal Highness can always be sure of an enjoyable afternoon. Her Majesty has a special interest in the next race. It's been named for her the Queen's Cup. It's just after 9 o'clock on Saturday evening at the brightly lit Melbourne Town Hall, scene of the state reception. Her Majesty and His Royal Highness spend much time moving amongst the guests and speaking with them. As the Premier promised, this is a very relaxed and friendly occasion.
My husband and I are deeply touched by the very warm welcome which you and the councillors and citizens of Melbourne have given us today, and also for your kind references to our children. Memories of our previous visit to your city came flooding back as we drove through the streets today, and it is wonderful to be greeted again with the same friendliness and hospitality.
And now Her Majesty goes on her way to open the new Royal Children's Hospital in Parkville. The official guests are waiting, and the whole hospital seems to be in a state of suppressed excitement. For everyone connected with the hospital, it's a great day.
Premier, the Royal Children's Hospital, which I have been asked to open today, stands as a monument to the humanity and public spirit of the people of Victoria and to the energy and devotion of your hospital committee.
Goodbye. We enjoyed your visit, and we hope you were happy with us here in Melbourne.